going on, guys? Everybody. Looks like Railroad Three Step was first. Jim Dash Bow, Bacon Bourbon, and Blue Collar Bullshit all day, every day. Okay. No guest tonight, Railroad Three Step. Thought we would just do a regular show tonight. Nothing really going on. What's going on, Bull of the Woods? Just a regular show tonight with me and 18 Wheels. Didn't really contact anybody. I did a little something today, though. Did we get our notifications? I got my notification and I got your notification, so that's a good thing. I actually sent out messages to like 3 or 4 people today to see if they wanted to come on the show. 18. Just three random truckers that I thought would be good to bring on.
Oh, they ain't bother wanting to come on tonight.
This is just for future use. I didn't really ask anybody, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm doing a 34 and I'm not happy, doing it. Yeah, I don't care for doing 34s when I'm on the road. What's up, country? No way. It's 18 in a truck now. Is 18 in a
I
truck
am
now?
not in the truck. I'm sitting on my couch with my big ass TV trying to watch TV. Y'all already know what the deal is, man. Don't
He's
be
in a
in no
truck.
truck. Everything always trucks in the shop getting repaired right now. I'm just sitting here in my couch, minding my
So
business.
Bull of the Woods says, I need to finish watching your latest recorded video. I had to replace my headlight in my Jeep before the sun went down. You talking about my recorded video or 18's recorded video? Because he actually did one too. Ain't a whole lot going on. Key says, okay, I need to get my glasses, I guess. What's up, Keith? Saying, what's up, Fly Rabbit? In Bull of the Woods, Fly Rabbit. Need to get my glasses. What are you giggling about?
Keith said he needs to go get his glasses.
Yeah. And when me and you were talking before we went live, and everybody's taking our Sunday slot. There's a lot of people going live tonight.
All the top dogs of the YouTube truckers.
Yeah. Well, they want to take our slot, I guess. I haven't watched 18s yet. Yeah, my live, I talked about recruiting, and there's a lot of things going on with recruiting right now with a certain group of guys recruiting for a major refrigerator carrier. I don't want to get into all the details and stuff. We've all seen their videos and stuff. Not saying I agree or disagree with the way they're doing it. Recruiting is a sales venture. I was a salesman before I got into trucking, and I've been in sales for almost 10, 15 years. When you really get down to it, I've sold a lot of stuff. But recruiting is a sales adventure, and it is really not for everybody. What they're doing is they're pushing it into your face, repeatedly. Unless it's direct sales, like if you got the person in front of you. And again, I don't even know if I really agree with the direct sales the way they're doing it, but that's what they're doing. They're trying to push for this. And I don't know. In my opinion, like I said, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but they have their way of doing it. But right now, that's kind of what I talked about in my video was recruiting. Justin Riley, good afternoon, Justin.
My thing about my thing about recruiting isn't necessarily about the recruiting aspect. Like, if you want to recruit, that's cool. The problem that I have with it is like the snake oil theories. Not giving people the truth, the whole truth, and you just basically just saying any and everything just to get like car salesmen. They'll tell you whatever you gotta say just to get you in that car, no matter what your credit is. That's pretty much how I view the whole recruiting thing. Like, if you're honest, you're truthful about it, people are gonna go regardless. but don't be a snake or a salesman and try to recruit and tell people it's the best thing since sliced bread. Because
You know,
not every company is the same. Not all of them are not all of them are perfect. I mean, none of them are perfect, but just telling people the truth and let them decide, and not just based off of what you say. That's just where it boils down to. So
you know, it's funny that you bring that up, and I even told you this earlier in the week. So when I put that video up on Monday, and I'm not kidding you, it's not that F2F isn't a great company. It's just the spot market isn't where it needs to be right now, and I have a little bit of a conscience about bringing somebody in that doesn't know what they're doing, especially a new driver or maybe a new lease driver or something like that. But my whole point of this is I put that video out on Monday, and by Tuesday, actually by Monday evening, and then some on Tuesday, I had 3 people contact me two through text and 1 through email, still wanting to come to F2F. So if you do your job and do it the right way and kind of put in the good, the bad, the ugly, and, hey, this isn't a good idea type thing, you're still going to get people that want to come over. You don't need to force anybody to help them make decisions. Because I don't know about you, but when I first started, getting into trucking, I said when I first, but the second time I got back into trucking, somewhere around the 2013-14 time, I started watching a lot of YouTubers, and this is quite a few years ago, 10 years ago. And I started watching a lot of YouTubers, and I was getting all my research, and I know that's what a lot of guys do. And with that being said, I figured out where I needed to go and what I needed to do, and I actually failed my first time around. This time around, I've actually done pretty well for myself, even in the worst, shittiest market. And we've talked about that many a times. And even in the worst, shittiest market, we're still, we're surviving. We're not killing it by any means, but we're making money. Even me with an SF5 truck. There's been some tough weeks. My wife will get on here and say the same thing. But with the tough weeks come the good weeks, and you just gotta roll with the punches and just make sure things are taken care of. Let me read a few of these comments here. Army Kane says, the broke back Cowboys. I'm late on watching everyone today. I was watching Seahawks and Vikings first half, says Bull of the Woods. Justin Riley says, Jason Poten, a gay cowboy. Yeah, I don't know. They might both be. I don't know. I don't really want to get into anything. Has Hirschbach made their lease program fail-proof in your guys' opinions? Make just enough to keep you driving, going, if you will.
There is no lease that is fail-proof. None of them are. It's always a risk that you're taking, and usually, let's be honest, most of the time the failure usually falls on the driver more than the company itself.
Well, it falls upon the driver because of home time or, possibly breakdown. And when you talk about a fail-proof lease, you can correct me on this if you want, but the only one that me and you have ever been involved in, and I won't say it's fail-proof, but it's about as close to fail-proof as possible, is Swift's. Swift was easy to make money there.
It's a pretty strong lease. I'll give you that much.
Until the freight went down. When the freight went down, it was a little bit of a struggle, even for me and you that had connections throughout the company. But, the problem is with Swift, and just like all these other mega carriers, and we've talked about this, you don't want to lease a truck from the carrier you work for because they can control your work and they can cap you and limit you and all that. I'm not saying that Swift ever did that to me, but they can. And then, you got a 4 or 5 year lease. And then like with the Kenworth that I had, I got that truck at the last part when the truck prices were crazy. My payment was $700 a week, 4 years. It was actually 3.5 years. Payment. And I had a $98,000 balloon payment at the end. That truck wasn't going to be worth $98,000 after 4 years. So to answer your question, Bull of the Woods, no, I don't think it was a fail-proof lease at all. Matter of fact, I looked at Hirschbach many, many years ago, and I re-looked at it when these two guys came back out with it, and I didn't see the value or the benefit in it. And I think the number one thing is with the benefit of that. There really isn't one because you're running reefer. Anybody that's ever done reefer before, there's a lot of times that you're sitting. The other thing that to me is a big scam, and they're not telling the truth about, is their 99-cent fuel thing. Yeah, that's great and dandy. They're getting 99-cent fuel, but guess what? When me and you were at Swift, our fuel was paid for. So whatever the prices were going at that time, we were getting anywhere between 43 and 65 cents a gallon towards our fuel, which based a mile towards our fuel, which paid. I mean, I don't know about you, but I made up anywhere between $100 and $500 a week on the fuel surcharge
Yeah,
alone.
you can make it. Yeah, you can make money on fuel if you're
And
smart
these
enough
guys
on how
are,
you
yeah,
fuel and where you fuel at. You definitely can make money on that fuel purchase over at
and they're
Swift.
making a big deal that they're paying 99 cents fuel. So, okay, so you fill up 3 times, okay, in a week. You do 3,000 miles. The average is about 1,000 miles. Fill up 3 times, you're paying 99 cents. So you're paying 150 or so dollars for your fuel at 99 cents, 150 gallons. Just use it for easy math. Do that 3 times. That's $450 for the whole week in fuel. Guess what? We weren't paying anything for fuel at Swift. Let's see here. Where was I at? I didn't think I
Like I
read
said, with that 99-cent fuel, I'm pretty sure there's some really big stipulations with that as to how much you can fuel or where you can fuel as well too. And does it really benefit you, especially being an over the road driver? If the company is telling you where to fuel at, it might help save them money. But look at the other aspect of it. Does it help you with getting shower credits, getting your points at the truck stops that you can use whenever you need to use them and stuff like that? Because those are just as beneficial as well too. And if you can't get shower credits because they're telling you you can only fuel 20 gallons here and 30 gallons here, normally at the pilot it's 50 gallons for a shower. How are you going to able to get a shower doing that? You know.
Right. So, is that Toon World says with a high truck payment is hard anywhere. That is true. What's
Absolutely.
up? Right way to truck. Alaska Hall's in here. Shout out. Don't shit where you eat. Yeah, that's kind
That's
of
a
it.
big thing. That's a big philosophy that I learned in the last couple of years, man.
So
Especially with
here's a
trucking.
good statement. Alaska Hall says it's fail-proof lease for the Hirschbach, not for the driver. That's exactly right. Hirsch crap. I like that. That's
Listen,
exactly right because the lease and all the bills are being paid by the driver. So honestly, the only thing that the company's really out is just, I guess, the cargo insurance would be the only thing that they're really out because the driver's paying everything.
Most leases are just set up for the benefit of the company and not necessarily for the driver anyways. It's always been like that.
Always lease to a carrier with the lease truck. That's correct, Steve. Toon World, lease is a poor man's mentality. Work, save, cash, done. Yeah,
I gotta disagree with that statement right there because not every situation calls for everything. Um, calls for a cash truck. Even so, still a cash truck is not even a foolproof way to go about it because there's a reason why it's a cash truck. Most cash trucks, $10,000-$15,000, you buy it cash, you still got to put another $10-$15 to even get it roadworthy.
Yeah, just depends. And and again, I've said this many a times, whether you get a cash truck, whether you do a lease truck, whether you do an SFI truck, it really, again, this just boils down to the person. I mean, whatever's right for you. There's no wrong way to doing any of this. You just got to do what's right for you and what makes it work for you. And to get yourself into the door. So Toon World, a comp driver makes what lease ops do. Oh, a company driver makes what lease ops do. Yeah, in some cases that's true. That's not always true. I don't know too many. I don't know too many company jobs that went well into the 6 figures last year. Take home. I'm pretty sure you made well into the 6 figures last year, didn't you? 18.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean, there are some applications to where that's
What I
true.
took home is a different story. So
Well, and another thing too, everybody always wants to challenge, that we're out on the road and stuff. Well, you think about it, you're a company driver, when you're a company driver and you're doing local stuff, you're on the 14-hour clock. Well, guess what? You're going to maximize those 14 hours and try to get you a little bit of overtime, even if you're getting paid by the mile or by the hour. You're trying to maximize that. And by the time you do the math and calculate everything, guess what? We get more home time than you guys do. And you're at home every single day. Doesn't always work out that way, but most of the time it does.
the way I see it, whether you're leasing or buying a truck cash or getting it from a dealership, like what's the ultimate goal? Like you're not just buying a truck because you just want a truck, right? Like what's the ultimate goal? Are you trying to build a home? Are you trying to save up money to do something else? Like because as fun as this job is, do we really want to do I really want to be on the road for the next 10, 15, 20 years? No. This is just a pathway to something else different. Maybe I want to buy another truck. Maybe I want to go get my pilot's license. Maybe I want to go build a home. Maybe I want to go do something. But this right here is what I'm using as a foundation to get somewhere better.
That's right. Let me read some of these comments. Problem is, Hirschbach only pays $1 something a mile. I know I read that somewhere. It's like $1.10 a mile, which is crazy. That's less than what Swift pays, and that's reefer too. Brian Jess says, I still say a reasonable truck payment signed down with SRO Logistics is the best thing you can find today if you're willing to run the spot market. I agree with you to a sense. Again, you got to want to do the spot market. I think you got a great deal going there, Brian. I really do. I don't know Scott personally, but from what you've told me and what Todd has told me, I know that's a good company. And
from what I've heard, he's pretty much a stand-up guy, and his company is well ran. So
it's just the spot market sucks right now. So speaking of which, anybody needs to contact Brian to maybe possibly look at SRO Logistics or questions, by all means contact me and I'll put you in touch with him. That's what this show's about, is putting you in touch with people. There's my wife. Hello, baby. And says hello to you, 18 Wheels.
Hello, Nicole.
The Bowler Woods. How does that work exactly? No fuel cost. You have less intake off pump price, less of that taxes. There should be some cost involved. Well, let's put it this way. I'm not including the IFTA. That's just besides the IFTA. But, okay, so if the fuel surcharge is, say, 60 cents a mile, and my cost is 45 cents a mile, well, I made 15 cents a mile on that fuel. That's basically how that works. Now, again, I'm not including the IFTA taxes or anything like that. In some states, it's better. In some states, it's not. And honestly, you really have to be a calculus genius and also a very good mathematician to figure out.
You just got to be pretty smart. That's all.
Exactly. You
ain't got to know how to build a spaceship, James. Come on, man.
I don't know about building a spaceship, but that's just one of those things that I've never really taken the time to calculate. Because the thing is, why would you calculate that to begin with? Because you got to go through those states anyways. What's the countdown for back there behind you? 19 minutes.
Oh no, that's just the time.
Is that your? Oh, okay. I got you.
The TV just went in. Yeah, it
dark
went
mode.
To sleep.
Thought maybe you had your restroom break all lined up. So Brian just says 18 talking about Shire Credit ES card. Yeah, he knows he's got an ES card.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, some of us do, but there are some companies out here that won't let you use an outside fuel card, or if they'll tell you if you got to use it, you got to pay your own IFTA tax. They're not going to file it for you. They're not going to report it for you. So I guess it all depends on where you are, and if they allow it, then and you can get a second fuel card. Then yeah, ES is pretty decent. They do give you a shower credit for a place that has a heart sign, and you get unlimited showers.
So Railroad is making a comment. What do you think about unions in trucking? My opinion, and I'll let you do yours here in a second. My opinion, unions in trucking. I've been a part of a union before a couple of times at certain companies, and don't want to go into detail about that. Quite frankly, unions in today's world, in my opinion, are useless. Where I worked at, I was part of the Teamsters, and I was part of Teamsters 3 different times. And each time I was there, they really didn't it didn't make a difference whether they were there or not. To me, they're useless, and I don't think there will ever be a union for OTR drivers. There's too many drivers out here that don't agree on shit as it is anyways, and let alone when you get some of the white Volvo mafia, they won't be a part of it anyway. And I'd say within the next 4 to 5 years, and this is a news article that 18 is going to talk about here in a little bit, but in the next 4 to 5 years, us old school drivers are going to be a minority when it comes to the white Volvo mafia. Your turn.
Oh, I don't know anything about unions. Never been part of one, so I really don't know how they operate. Plus, technically, I consider myself from the South, and unions aren't really a thing down south. So I don't know anything about that. I believe, and well, it's a fact that the truck drivers are too fragmented to unionize, anyways. Even for our own benefit, we just can't agree on anything at all. And I think that that's what everybody else in the industry takes advantage of. We're just too damn fragmented. That's just what it is. Lease drivers can't agree with owner operators. Owner operators can't agree with company drivers. That's just what it is. And then to like I said, to add on top of that, all the foreign drivers. Even if we do decide to ever get together, you think the foreign drivers are gonna get with us? No, that's just their opportunity to get that money while we're sitting here striking. And we know that money doesn't stay in the United States anyways. It doesn't get circulated back into our economy. It goes overseas where they can live a lavish lifestyle for far less than what we can afford over here.
Yep. So, Toon World, 32,000 for mine, running for 2 years.
Good deal.
You know, yeah, that's awesome.
No
You can make it
problems,
work.
no breakdowns, not been sitting in the shop, no nothing, just straight 2 years of bliss.
Cash truck is awesome, but it will also depend on revenue you're willing to bring with it. Agree with you,
I
Alaskan.
agree.
Steven says you own your truck in a few years. Company drivers will never own their truck. That is true. After, your lease term or whatever your buyout is, absolutely. You're going to own the truck, and then you're going to make, twice or maybe even 3 times of what a company driver can make if you get to that position. Steven says some of us just can't be told what to do. That's me right there. That is me. So Keith says, for me, is nothing more than ability to customize my truck the way I want, and the freedom to park whenever and however long I want to, nothing more. So Keith, that's a good statement. I'm not so much on the customizing my truck. I do like, putting my logos on my truck and stuff. But the thing that I like more is when I'm ready to go home, I'm ready to go home. I don't care how much it costs, what needs to be done. I go home, and nobody tells me I can't. I'm sure you agree with that too, don't you, 18?
Yeah, well, to a certain extent, yeah.
So Life in a Box, we didn't have lease operators in the early 90s. In my opinion, lease purchase diminishes the value of the real owner operators. I don't know, man. I
No,
don't
I
know
was
if it
just
really diminishes the
I was
owner
crawling on
operators.
all fours at that time, so I wouldn't know nothing about trucking at that point. So
Yeah, it was a little bit before my time too, but again, there's no right or wrong way. Like I always say, as long as you get your foot in the door and you're doing it. Hirschbox loads pay less than the longer the trip is. Yeah, that's is that like, yeah, the longer the trip is. That's with just about every load, really, even on the spot market too. The longer the load is, the less it pays. Mileage, anyways. Right way to truck. Scott is a good guy, so I'm assuming you know who Scott is. Lance Calhoun, careful, those drones are looking for that timer. That's funny, man.
it's not it's just a clock. That's all it is, man. Matter of fact, I like I like how I have it set up because sometimes I'll be like in deep sleep and I just need to know what time it is really quick and I can't find for some reason I could just never find my phone even though it's right next to me. I just look up at TV just see what time it is and I'm like, oh, still got another 4 hours of sleep. I'm gonna go right back to sleep. Just keep it pushing.
So Bull of the Woods says Jason and Tim could run FedEx Company ground runs and net more than what they currently do at Hirschbach and have that counting health benefits. You know, I agree with you, Bull of the Woods. I did the FedEx Ground Company thing. The only problem is with that, me and one of my best friends did that, and I can't do teams, and I know they are, but you're
They run you pretty
constant.
hard.
That you're buddy. We didn't stop. The only time we stopped was to fuel, shower, and just do personal stuff like that.
I
I
guess
mean, me and
Jason
my
don't
buddy.
have enough time to make videos. Then, if that's the case,
Well, let me put it this way to you. Me and my buddy Mike, the one that just got out of trucking, the one that was the sheriff, we ran from, I can't remember what the city is, but it's real close to San Francisco, California, all the way to Baltimore, Maryland, in basically 2 days, dude. The trucks weren't governed. We were cruising between 80 and 85 almost up, especially out west, 80 to 85 the whole way. And it was summertime. We did that run. It was 2,500 miles. I don't know the exact mileage. And we did it in 2.5. Well, I don't even know if it was 2.5 days. I think it was just barely 2 days. But yeah, you ran your ass off doing that shit. Irishman, what's going on, guys? That's what he says for us. Right way to truck. Unions are good for drivers who have their own trucking business. Why would you unionize your business? Absolutely. Agree with you 100% on that. No reason to have a business if you have a union. Illegal for businesses to price fix owner-operators. Okay. Alaska Hall. I would recommend everyone in trucking
aren't
to
they
invest.
doing that anyways?
What's that?
What is it? What you said? Price fixing? Let me go back to that comment that you just saw. Yeah, price fix. Aren't they doing that anyways? With the market, they're calling it a market adjustment, or that's just what the market is. But really and truly, we know deep down what they're actually doing. So
Now, Alaska Hall. I would recommend everyone in trucking invest in real estate. I've sold and purchased properties, and that's the only real money I have saved. Used trucking as a tool. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And by the way, Alaska Hall, I put out your favorite video on Monday. I don't know if you heard me or not. I put out a recruiting video. Might want to take a look at that. I think you'll appreciate it, because I know how you are about the recruiting aspect. I put in some truths in there. Truck diver, excuse me. If you want to get into some real money, hazmat chemical tankers is where it's at. Getting into that market for the first week of January. I actually looked into that. I might I don't know how I would do that with an SFI truck, but I might try to do that. Have you noticed that too, or looked at that at all?
I haven't looked into it. I heard fuel hauling is pretty freaking sweet. It's a pretty sweet deal.
Well, I think he's talking about chemical tankers, like other than fuel and stuff. Huh? I'll have to look into that, because I think what I'm going to end up trying to do here this year is I'm going to fund up my deposit at SFI, and that way when it comes time for me to leave or go somewhere else, I'll have money in the account. I can go anywhere. The right way to truck. I'm leased on to SRO Logistics. Okay. Gotcha. I didn't know. Maybe I don't know your name. Well, everybody wants to text me tonight. I don't know what's going on with everybody texting me.
Put your phone on silent, James.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you that every week, man. Put it on
silent. Phone never goes up. King JV. Hey guys, I've been running hard when can. I join in, hit some adversity, but still trucking with my SFI truck. That's good. Where you at now, King JV? Where are you at? I agree with you. Teams suck.
Absolutely.
There's Chris Howard. What's up? Rolling from Vegas. I heard you were on your way home, buddy. Brian Jess says, I talked to Landstar operator in my parking lot yesterday, and I have to say he is getting raped by Landstar compared to my percentage deal.
Percentage of what? Yeah. I mean, what we like, in all fairness, right? A higher percentage doesn't mean that you're actually taking a higher take-home rate. When it boils down to it, at the end of the day, a percentage of what, like, what are you getting? What are you getting? The percentage of what the company tells you're gonna make, or what the broker is gonna tell you what you're gonna make? Because at the end of the day, what you making and what somebody else making is just two different things. And what does that percentage even offer you at the company that you work for as well too? You got to look into it to it that way to get a better understanding of what you're getting into or what you're getting out of it. It all depends, you know. Some people make lot more money with a higher percentage. Some people make a lot more money with a lower percentage. It all depends.
So Army King just gave me something. SFI won't allow the use to add a PTO till you own it. I don't remember what a PTO is, but I know that has something to do with the
Power takeoff
tankers.
unit or something like
Yeah,
that. You hook it up to the transmission or whatever.
didn't know that. Alaska Hall, I've seen it. Props to you for saying how is not sugarcoating it. Times are tough. People need to think twice before making life decisions. I agree. I've always been honest with everything that I've been on here. Even when I did recruit, I didn't pull people into not a good situation. And the people that I did pull in, the 11 people that I did pull in, I think 8 of them are still over there doing the same thing. And we had quite a few good months at it. And I think most of them will come on here and repeat what I just said. We had a good run until JB Hunt took it away from us. Army King. Hit road debris cost me $1,500 for 3 tires and a mud flat bracket. Wow.
Ooh. Well,
You got a good price on
1,500
tires.
for 3 tires. Yeah, I was about to say.
Damn, I just paid
But then I was like,
$2,000
yeah,
for
that's
2
a
steer
pretty decent
tires and a
3 tires,
and a call
man.
out. $1,200 for the 2 tires by themselves.
Who does Army Kane work for?
Yeah, no
He'll
shit.
probably get a pretty decent deal. I don't know what his percentage is, but he probably got a pretty decent deal on them tires, man.
So let me read these last 2 comments here, and then you can do your news. Army King recap trailer. I got your recap trailer tires. So Brian says 18 wheel SRO is 80% is way higher than Landstar 65%. Go ahead and
Like I said, it's not.
rebuke that and then do your news.
Well, I'm not gonna refute. I mean, it's good that you're getting 80%, but what does that 20% get you? What are you paying that 20% for? And like I said, it's not at the end of the day, it's not about percentage, but what you're actually taking home after all your deductions, after all your fuel, all that stuff. Like, what are you actually taking home? Because you can make 80%, I make 65, and I might come out ahead of you with a higher take home. And not saying that it's necessarily true all the time, but that that could be a case that something like that can happen. So, all right, so let me go ahead and get into the news from last week in trucking and see what's going on. First thing first, 65,000 more foreign truck driver visas made available in trucking to companies for 2025. The Department of Homeland Security has opened up 64,716 H-2B visas for the fiscal year of 2025. From October 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2025, these newly released H-2B visas are in addition to the pre-existing 66,000 temporary non-agricultural worker visas mandated by Congress. So that's an additional 64,000 on top of that 66,000 that's already in the country. 45,000 of the new visas will be offered first to returning foreign workers from the last 3 years, while the remaining visas will be granted to workers from Colombia, Costa Rica, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Haiti, and Honduras. The H-2B visa allow employers to hire foreign workers for temporary non-agricultural work on a one-time occurrence, seasonal peak load, or intermittent basis. Trucking is one of several industries that take advantage of the program. Last year, trucking companies that hired the most workers through the program were in Montana, Florida, and Massachusetts. These are employers across the country that would suffer greatly without H-2B workers. Authorizing these supplemental visas help U.S. employers fill those positions. Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas said in a statement, it helps fuel our economy and reduce irregular migration while also providing a safe and lawful pathway to the United States for non-citizens who are prepared to work. So basically what it boils down to, it not everybody is getting CDL out of this program, but they're making 65,000 more visas available to trucking companies. And when they're basically, what they're saying is that it's not necessarily for truck driving, but it could be like other parts of of uh, of the trucking industry that could be affected with that. We got some comments on this.
Yeah.
So let me so let us know what you guys think about this in the comments. Let's go ahead and read them and let's see what's up.
Let me get caught up here. We had a few come in. Railroad says, I'm going to start recruiting for the railroaders. Nothing better than walking back 100 cars in -10. Lance Calhoun, Brian, do you get contract freight, government loads, hazmat, drop and hook, free trailers? Just depends on what you want. Well,
Absolutely, Lance. Absolutely.
Army King says F2F Select is 80%, but I'm questioning what they do with that 20. Never mind my 220 a week trailer rental. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, the trailer rental should be included.
Out earlier, 20% of what? What does that 20% get you? Is that just for filing and that's it? Is that just for reporting that and that's it? Are you getting discounts at the truck stops with that 20%? Are you getting discounts on your repairs? You know, stuff like that. When you actually need something and the company name can pull some weight, what does that 20% get you?
So, Right Way to Truck says there's no deduction at SRO, just 20%. Chris Howard says, I was at home for 3 days. Now I'm bouncing back out.
Okay. So to go back to what he let's see. Well, Right Way to Truck. So 20%, that's all. So basically you're just paying to be under someone's deal or paying under someone's DOT and that's it, nothing else. If that's what I'm getting at there.
There are no deductions beyond the 20% at SRO. We keep 80% of all negotiated rates. Best deal in the trucking today.
So you got to negotiate your own trucking insurance, your tags, and all those fees are not.
Well, they got to pay for. Right? I think they got to pay for a trailer rental fee too, though. He's not talking about.
Okay.
But once again, that's just like F2F. They charge 20%, but you still have to pay a trailer rental fee. Truck driver, I hope they put more skins for foot washing. Oh, more sinks. For foot washing. That's the truth, man. The Right Way to Truck, the only deduction is $150 a week for the trailer fee. Other than that, 20%. Okay. Chris says Trump's going to cancel those visas. Yeah, I would probably expect that. Speaking of which,
like that's like a big middle finger to Trump from Biden just to go ahead and authorize those extra visas. That's just pretty much what it is.
I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but Trump's bringing back the Panama Canal. That should be a news article that you should look up for next week, because my opinion with us is gaining back I don't even know why we gave away the Panama Canal to begin with. I don't know how this is all going to work out, but this is a big Twitter war going on right now between Trump and the government of Panama. And I know you don't understand it. You don't know what it is, but Panama is a major canal. Well, I think, in my opinion, it can really help out with us as shipping, because it brings more stuff to the East and West Coast. I think it's going to help more with the shipping market and the rail market than us, but still, I think it's a good thing. I don't know why everybody wants to text me tonight, and everybody knows that I'm live.
I know the Panama Canal is just it's a shipping lane. I know it was built because ships usually have to sail all the way around to the bottom of South America to come right back up to put goods on the East Coast. So America built the canal, and it's just like the one in Egypt. You know, it's a major shipping lane that helps bring freight a little bit faster, albeit on a boat to the other side of the world. That's what it is.
Truck driver says invest in flip flop companies. Alaska Hall. How long do you guys usually stay out? I don't really have a time frame that I stay out, but on an average 2 to 3 weeks, I will stay out longer. I will go home in shorter times. I was home 2 weekends in a row last or this month. Unfortunately, with the holidays, I just don't see the value of going out, sitting, and waiting for a load to pop up that, may or may not, deliver the next day. I'm not big on taking loads that deliver 3 or 4 days away. And when the holidays come around, I usually just try to say, F it and go home and just take the loss, take the L. What about you, D?
Uh, Whenever, I guess. The kids need something. Usually, that's when I would normally go home. If something is important or at standard, maybe 2, 3 weeks at a time, give or take. But next year, though, I do plan on staying out a little bit longer. I want to make a little goal for myself at the beginning of the year and see how fast I can get there without getting me one of those high dollar paying loads to Florida.
So
They are enticing, but Lord have mercy, trying to get back out is a whole different story, man.
Marlon says JB Hunt's rates are bad. That's number one reason why I left. Army Kane says so far that 20% is my groups, and it seems like it just put me their name on my door. Okay, yeah. Alaska Hall says it's crazy how many brokers don't want to work with Landstar. Huh.
Yeah, I mean it's just with every company. Everybody has a bad egg somewhere. There's always a broker that refuses to work with different companies. I'm sure F2F have their own share of brokers that don't want to work with them. JB Hunt, uh, even Swift themselves, but it all depends.
I haven't ran into
But they
that
ain't
yet, but
stopping Landstar from making $1 billion a year, so
that
I
same
don't
thing
know.
at F2F, man. I haven't ran into that problem, but there are some that are out there. So Irishman said visas are dangerous. I'm not going to tell you what I did in law enforcement, but it was related to immigration. The more visas that were given out, HB1, HB2, or even K1 is very dangerous. Interesting. I didn't know you were in law enforcement, Irishman. I was too, but I didn't deal with immigration. No, I was on a lot lower level than that. Lance Calhoun. Only insurance I pay is LS at Landstar is 30 per week bobtail or unladen
Yeah,
liability.
I think I've paid just about the same too because I have my own insurance and I'm not paying that through Landstar. So
Chris agrees. Trailer rental unless you have your own. Brian Jess says 100 points for everyone who can provide the history of the Panama Canal. I don't know the complete history of the Panama Canal, but I know the United States. I think it was in either the teens or the 20s when they actually made it and dug it out, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know the full history. I'm not willing to go for 100 points, anyways. Maybe I can
I
get
know
half
they
of
were
it.
all. I know it was built to make it a little bit more safer for freight to move from the Pacific to the Atlantic because they had to, like I said, they had to go all the way south in order to come up, and usually that little strait at the bottom between South America and Antarctica is it's pretty dangerous waters down there.
So Army Kane says, I'm not seeing any load price increases for this holiday, so really might grab a load home for the holidays. Okay. Roro says, would Landstar have more negotiating power over SRO since they're much bigger? I would think
Yeah,
they
I mean
probably
I would
would.
think so because the way Landstar is structured, the agents are the one that's going out there getting these loads, not Landstar per se. And I would assume that at SRO you guys don't have agents or anybody like that. So basically, you're your own agent. You have to call and get your own brokered load from off the load board.
Fidel Trucking says, yo.
Adele, how you doing, man? Appreciate the welcome.
So you know who he is?
Yeah, yeah. Commented on one of my videos earlier today.
Did
I
he?
saw.
Good
Well, I
deal.
already knew because I watched many of his videos before it, but beforehand. So
Good
I
channel.
that was the first time he was actually it, that was the first time I actually interacted with him.
Okay.
Per se. So
I'll
yeah, he's
go in
over
and
at Landstar
subscribe.
as well too.
I'll subscribe when we're done here. Ryan Transportation won't work with F2F. Army Kane. Okay. I don't know who Ryan Transportation is. Is that a broker? I haven't ran into them. I haven't even seen them on the board. So Railroad Three Step. I know for us, the Class Ones get all the new cars first, simply because they can't afford to pay the prices. Hmm. So Strait of Magellan, that's over in Egypt, I think, is what he's talking about, right? I could be
No, I
wrong.
think the Strait of Magellan is right that is between South America and Antarctica, I believe.
Oh,
Maybe
okay,
I think. All I know
gotcha.
is some pretty dangerous ass waters down there, and a lot of ships have been lost down there and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons why they built the Suez Canal.
So Landstar doesn't negotiate pay; their agents, contractors do. Many contracts, such as Google.
Right,
Um,
right.
Army Kane, they're actually a bigger broker carrier. Okay, I've never heard of them. I've not dealt with them. Ryan Transportation, it is. So last call, is Country coming back? So Country and KO started their own show. They come on live on Saturdays at
Saturday,
7. Is it 7 o'clock?
yeah, Saturdays at 6 or 7 o'clock, I believe. Yeah,
And honestly, that was kind of the plan all along when Country started coming on here. Him and KO had always had plans to start their own show. He just came on my show to, honestly, just to kind of help boost my show up, and with his subscribers, coming to watch our show too. That was originally the plan to begin with.
um,
We're all fine. We all talk every single day.
Fly
What was
Rabbit,
you?
I got a question for you.
Yeah,
Turn your head to the side real quick.
that way.
The other, yeah, and the other way.
Yeah.
Do you have a mullet?
Actually, it is, but it's getting cut off. Yep, I'm cutting it off when I go home. I've been you just now noticing this for the last 3 months.
Yeah, I
I've
just
been growing
noticed.
this
I was like, man, you out here
hair
you
has been
trying to look
growing
a
out.
little
It's
young,
not really a mullet, but I mean, I could put in a ponytail for you if it's sexier.
trying
But
to look a
no,
little, trying to look a little young for Nicole, man.
I don't know about all that noise, but it is getting cut off. It's starting to irritate me. I think she
I'm just
kind of
messing
likes
with
it,
you.
but it's kind of irritating me. So that hopefully that answers you about Country. Country can come on anytime he wants to, and he knows that. Army Kane off the Cape of Good Hope. We also have BCOs that have agencies here at Landstar too.
Yep, we got
Go.
BCO's got many trucks. BCO's got their own agencies. BCO's got their own exclusive freight. I mean, like I told you guys in several videos before, Landstar is just a condensed version of the open market. They just have everything and anything that you could ever try to get, you know. And also, when we were talking about that 65/35, that's just for dry van. The other platforms do get a different rate depending on what it is that you're hauling: flatbed, step deck, RGN, all that stuff. So it's not just 65 across the board. It's just that's just for dry van. Everybody else, every other platform has a different rate. So
So Country says, I feel like people don't know what a mullet is. It's just long hair, big difference. I agree with you. And the only reason you haven't noticed my mullet is because I've actually got a collared shirt on tonight. Usually I have a t-shirt on. So I got a polo on tonight, and it's showing a lot better. So Fidel wants to know if you like it over at the Star.
man, all right. So I was here 4 years ago as a driver for a BCO, and basically I was already attuned to the system, and that's the reason. That's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to come back here. So it it's like it's like riding a bicycle all over again, but just after a while, you already know what you're doing because you've already done it before. As I said, that's why I came back here, because I knew the system and I knew how the system worked, and I was comfortable with the system and I was comfortable with the percentage as well too.
Fidel says step depth is a 73 and heavy haul is a 75.
Mm. And on top of that, the BCO that I was driving for didn't hide any of the numbers for me, so I really knew I knew what the potential was when I came back here. Albeit it was during a little bit after COVID, so I knew not to like hang my word on those numbers, but I knew what my potential was, and that was just being just a regular dry van driver. Now, if I wanted to go do other stuff or get into specialized freight, doing concert loads, I mean, the sky is the limit. So you know, it's however you want to make it out to be over here.
So Marlon says currently at JB Hunt, thinking I'm going to try Landstar.
If you have any questions about Landstar, you can just visit my Facebook page and just shoot me a message. You can even hit up Fidel as well too and ask him about how Landstar works. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna give it to you. And watch his videos, man. You'll see all the growing pains that he went through with his truck and how he was able to get through those things as well too as a BCO driver.
So Army King says, I lied, it's through Chile. And a mullet is like an El Camino. But you know what? My El Camino is a super sport. I've got a super sport El Camino. What a great comment, man. My wife would love that. Alaska Hall. So do they still show loads after the 65% on your book? Or do you have to subtract the 35?
No. So the way that it's set up, you're just going to see what the load costs. And you're gonna when the agent sends you your freight bill, it's gonna show you what accessorials and whatever your fuel surcharge is, and all you have to do is just subtract. With the fuel surcharge is 100%. Subtract the fuel surcharge from the full line haul, and then say for instance you don't have any other accessorials, just the fuel, just to make things simple. Just subtract your fuel from your line haul. Landstar takes the 35% from the rest of it. They don't take the full 35% from the full line haul.
So my wife says she loves my El Camino.
I guess you ain't getting it cut off, man. If
Brian
she loves it.
Brian Jess says he'd gladly give 20% to SRL for the freedom he has. And Green-Eyed Entertainment says, what's going on, guys?
How you doing, man? And Brian, if it works for you, perfect. As long as it's making you happy and you're making the money that you need to make and the money you need to take home, that's perfect for you as well. For me, the 35% provides more than just basically more than just a filing fee, man. There's other benefits to that 35% rather than just paying the 20% and that's it.
Thanks, Rig Pig. Says another great show. Thank you, guys.
All right, I'm gonna get into the second my second news article from last week. Trucking transparency enforcement bad for shippers, brokers, and carriers. Let's take a look here. It says when DAT Chief of Analytics Ken Adamo told a roundtable meeting of big shippers about the issue with broker transparency, or the FMCSA recently announced plan to strengthen the longstanding rule, giving carriers and shippers more power to see the buy and sell price in freight transactions. No one knew this was simmering, but once they found out, they were all instantly pissed off. And it's not for the reason that you guys think. So after ongoing Overdrive survey currently holds a 79% of carriers who have so far responded think FMCSA broker transparency proposal stands a good chance of boosting rates. But macro analysts like Adamo disagree. It might make sense to an owner-operator that knowing what a shipper paid a broker for a load he or she hauled and having access to that information 48 hours after requesting it, as FMCSA currently proposes would help in load negotiations. Another poll thought the greater transparency generally would just do that. Sorry, I've skipped over something. Another Overdrive poll earlier this year, before the details of the FMCSA proposal were known, found 55% thought greater transparency generally would just do that. Following the November release of the FMCSA proposal, the current survey currently shows that even greater share, 66%, feel their load negotiations would benefit in some way. That use case for broker transparency documentation holds water, but Adamo offered a bevy of arguments and statistics that suggest it might not be all it's cracked up to be. Keep in mind, though, the same early year survey found truckers distrust rates averages like that published by DAT. Yet hear Adamo out. Let's see. Can carriers really impact rates through broker transparency? First of all, both carriers and brokers are price takers. What he means is that no carrier or broker can really generate a price independent of the larger market. He has a series of 4 questions he asks to determine if someone is a price taker or not. Yes answers to the questions indicate they are. Let's go down the list. Is the service you're offering commoditized? Is the first one a commodity for the purpose of this exercise represents a fungible good? Are the barriers to entry low? In trucking, that is certainly the case. In Adamo's view, while getting a CDL insurance in a truck certainly isn't a cakewalk requiring next to no investment, the abundance of carrier capacity he feels demonstrate the bar for entry definitely isn't too high for about 300,000 entities. For brokers, put up your bond and get insurance, some investment required, of course, but there are tens of thousands of authorized brokers registered with authority too. Is the market fragmented? In trucking, big time. As Adamo put it, 90% of carriers are small carriers, and out of 20,000 brokers, not one controls more than 10% of the market. And finally, do trucking service providers have access to perfect information? Adamo says that this is called perfect information access for ready availability of current accurate information on prices and costs and values. Is definitely the worst fitting criteria of the 4. So when I was listening, I watched a Trucking Made Successful video was a couple days ago about this same issue. And basically what it boiled down to was these shippers and receivers didn't want their they think, or they have the perception that information is classified, and no one and truck drivers shouldn't have that information at all, period. Even though it was explained to them that it could be a benefit for them if everybody had that information. That way, rates should be fairly negotiated. At the end of her video, I believe she made a claim, not 100% sure on this, but she made a claim saying that maybe shippers are getting a kickback from these brokers for selling these loads on the open market, and they are selling them for a set cost, and whatever the broker makes back off of it, the broker is kicking back to the shipper for giving them the loads to be posted. So basically, there's some shady shit going on, even on the shipper side. That's probably why they're disagreeing with the broker transparency.
Yep. All right.
So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and we're gonna go ahead and read those comments as you guys post them.
So Railroad says, do either one of you two plan on doing anything else in trucking? I think that's kind of a crazy question. We always have plans or other things that we want to do. It's just a matter of timing and what's going on. I have a lot of plans that I like to do in trucking. What about you?
It's opportunity and funds.
That's right.
It'll be great to get in. Hey, it'll be nice to have at least 5 to 7 trucks, and you can actually get out of it and actually pursue things that you would actually like to do. Like it would be nice if I can make the money, and if I could steal my heart to actually put my head down and make that type of money. Getting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trucks, and just be I guess an extra helping hand when things need help, and I can just jump in the truck whenever that's the case. But then that would be nice. Maybe if I'm still here, maybe I might open my own agency. You just never know. I might invest some money into some of my friends and open up an agency here at Landstar and see what we can do about that. There's always something. It's the driving part isn't always the end all be all. That may have been for people back in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s. The real truck drivers that wanted to be out here till the day they die. But for us folks nowadays, it's always about what's the next step after this.
So Brian Jess says maybe it isn't about percentage. Maybe it's about just knowing how to run a business.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Evening fellas, says James G. Irishman, the way I see it, as long as you're comfortable with the carrier that you're hauling for, that is what's important. As long as you're happy and you're able to have a good quality of life. Agree?
And make money. Don't forget about making money.
18 Will says, how long have you been here this time?
I came. When did I came back here? August or September? Maybe what was it? June, July, August.
I'm trying to think.
About 6 months, I think.
I think
it was the second half of the year I've been back here.
Buddy, you were like June because probably July.
Yeah, I didn't stay at SFI for no more than 90 days, I believe so. And then I came over here with the SFI truck and did my thing for a couple of months. Yeah. About 6, 7
July.
6, 7 months, man. That time flies.
It does, man.
Time flies, man.
I was looking at it too, man. I'm going on a year with this truck already. So Army Kane says, keep in mind that these brokers wine and dine these shippers and give the shippers kickbacks for receiving their business.
Yeah, that's something that Trucking Made Successful was making a point about earlier as to why these shippers don't want this broker transparency thing.
Keith says, I got to run to town, gentlemen. It was great to see you all for another awesome show. See y'all next week. Have a good one, Keith.
Casey, I'll see you next time, man.
And Marlon says, weather is crazy out here. Where you at, Marlon?
You ain't lying, man. I'm out here in Ohio right now, and it's 21 degrees out. And a little bit windy.
Says, I know the major LTL companies send salespeople around to shippers, take them out for steak and dinners and a lot of other incentives, which is the same things all about these brokerage companies are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris says there have been trucking and brokers since the 1920s. Why is everybody worried about their broker transparency? Excuse me. Now it's trucking. It's just the way it's getting the government involved isn't going to help. I think we need to have transparency with the brokers because we got to know. And again, it all comes back down to what I talked about with recruiting earlier. It's sales. It's a sales position. They got to make their cut. We got to make our cut, and the company has to make their cut. And there needs to be an agreement between all parties involved. Is what it needs to be. Because honestly, we're the ones that get screwed out of everything. The truck drivers.
So here's an interesting take that I take on it. Right. When you build a house, if you're building a house from scratch and you hire all these contractors to build a house for you, aren't they? Don't they supply you with an itemized deduction of what the material costs and what they are charging for their services? Why is it not the same in trucking?
Well, they give you an estimate. Is what they do. Sometimes the estimates go over. Sometimes, rarely do they go under, but most of the time they go over or are there. But yeah, I agree with you. We need to have.
When you hire a lawyer to do business, isn't it the same thing?
Well, you know what an hourly rate that you're paying that lawyer, because like I've said in the past,
Yeah,
that's
but
one of the
then
things I'm involved with right now.
they'd still give you an itemized deduction of when you're
Yeah,
what
well,
they're billing you the hours for as well too.
absolutely. We get a bill once a month from our attorney with the case that we're involved with. Once a month, we know exactly what we're paying for. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So Army King,
Ha 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 ha.
we could
Funny.
always go back and check his videos to see where he came back. Or wait, never mind.
I didn't post anything. I didn't even post. Nobody even knew I went to Schneider for that whole time. So I didn't post anything during that time, man. I was just in my I was just in my mode of trying to get to the next step. I wasn't really interested in posting any videos about anything at that point. So
I didn't think Schneider was that bad. Did you have a hard time with Schneider?
I ain't like they say no. Well, I ain't like the
I'm
safety
talking
thing,
about
man.
I'm talking about the money, not the safety bullshit, just the money and running.
I like the point and click load board.
Yeah.
It's nice, but they ain't really had any freight on there, man, or anything that was really paying or anything really worth moving. Like you end up doing like 3,000, 3,200 miles a week just to make 5,000, 6,000 bucks. You know,
Yeah, but your cut, that was your cut though. It's already taken out. That's like
uh,
making 8,000 where you're at.
you know,
Think about that.
thinking about it, you're right.
Yep.
I can agree with you to that point. But this safety thing really threw a bone in my side, man. It was just way too much, bro. They'll fire you for having a headset while walking on their yard. That's crazy.
I haven't heard
You
that one.
always have to have that vest
Safety
on
vest.
at all
Yeah.
times. That's
Well, just
freaking
in the
crazy,
yard.
man.
Just in the yard. With the independent contractors, it's just in the yard. If you're out and about, it's not required
I mean,
unless the
I
property
get it for
requires it.
rookies. You trying to
Yeah.
instill something in them. For some of us guys who have been out here just a little bit longer than that, it's ridiculous. Like that, I don't need my hand held here. Like, come on, dude.
Well, thinking about it as a recruiting standpoint, though, they want you to be to set examples, just like high schoolers to middle schoolers to elementary schoolers. That's just an example, but they want you to to set an example. That's why.
And their monthly safety videos, like you have to watch these things. Like, okay, I get the aspect of being safe. Okay, I'm old enough to understand, how to be a safe person out here on the road. But they dial it up to a nine. And what really got me with Schneider is the fact that I couldn't make a phone call to them if I was driving. If I had something
Yeah.
important, but I also needed to keep going down the road, I can't stop and wait 30 minutes, 40 minutes for somebody to actually get on the phone. And when they don't, you leave a message. You just go driving down the road. Now you get a message saying that we tried to call you, but we saw you driving. Give us a call back. I'm not gonna sit here and spend another 40 minutes trying to call
No.
you about it. Like that's
You're
where
wrong there, because let me tell you what happened. You call them, you get to drive them back on the road. They send you a message saying, "Hey, we didn't try to call you because you were in drive. We will try
same
to call
thing.
you back in 10 minutes late." I know, but I'm just correcting you, man, because that's the way it was, man. I used to get that all the time. We couldn't call you because you were in yard move. Well, the reason I called you is because I need an empty trailer. I need you to help me find an empty trailer. Can you ping this trailer and let me know where it's at? This place is huge.
Right.
Well, we can't call you because you're in yard move. Yeah.
Yeah. The I can't call you. See, the thing is over here, if I'm driving, got my headset on, I could tell my phone, hey, call Landstar customer service. I get on the phone, I can talk to somebody while I'm driving down the road because more or less they have an understanding that hey, 9 times out of 10 I got a headset on. I don't have my phone in my hand driving down the road looking at it trying to talk to somebody. We resolve the issue, especially when it comes to a load, and I don't have to stop and eat up precious time while I'm trying to get this thing delivered.
Right. So here's a good comment by your boy Fidel. I'm going to subscribe to your channel too, by the way. Also, everybody wants a paid off truck, but you need to have the hustle and know how to keep it rolling.
Absolutely.
100%. I'm going to subscribe to his channel right now before I forget to do it. I'm going to look him up. Fidel Trucking. All right, I got you. It's got 107 videos up. Okay. All right. Next thing. So Marlon says he lives in Buffalo. James G says salesmen have always done that sort of thing to garner more business. That's not only a trucking thing. Absolutely. Marlon, as we contractors, we have to say no, or when to say no. Often lawyer is a flat rate, win or lose. That's on flat rates or win or lose type deals, or more of a injury type thing. They use, well, actually, you know what? They charge usually 33% in most states.
But my point is, you still get
That's right.
more or less a breakdown of what you paid for. The hours of service, of what they did during those hours, that time, and all that stuff. They usually break it down, so at least you know what you paid for.
So Fidel said a comment here. Remember back in the day, trucking was different. They don't care about knowing all of that info. As long as the money was right, they were okay. Like 18 said, they were just drivers. Army Kane said, got sick of loads canceling 4 weeks in a row and then no split sleeper. So Army Kane, which
Yes.
company are we talking about?
Talking
Schneider?
about Schneider. And no split sleeper is freaking wild to me. Like, not giving your owner operators all of the available tools that the FMCSA says that you can have, which Landstar as well doesn't necessarily do that with the PC. It's a whole different story. But not being able to do a split sleeper at any company is freaking crazy, bro.
Yeah, they are kind of backwards on some of their rules. I mean, you can PC as far as you want to, as long as you got time on your 14 and you're not hooked to a load or a trailer. It don't matter how far, but they won't let you do a split sleeper berth. That's kind of crazy. And Lance has made a comment that Schneider sounds like paralysis by analysis, as Elon would say. James G said, I called a couple years back to talk to a recruiter, and they wouldn't talk to me when I was in my personal vehicle.
Yes, they did the same thing. They did the same thing to me when I was at Swift and I was driving down the road. They did the same thing. Hey, can you call us back when you stop driving so we could talk to you? And I thought that was kind of weird. But in the beginning, I didn't really think too much about it. I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. But then after a while, it's like, I can't talk to nobody at Schneider while I'm driving. It's freaking crazy.
It's just like every company, though. We've talked about this in the past. Schneider has their little annoyances. Your company has their little annoyances. My company has their little annoyances. All the companies have their bullshit that you got to deal with. There is no perfect company. There really isn't.
Again, I can agree with you.
Unless you're running your own company.
But that phone situation is just it's just
well,
not it, man.
I agree with you, and I don't. The other thing with your company, the 3 to 4 week thing, and not being able to operate your truck while they're doing your background checks, I think that's horse shit. But again, after you go through that process, it's fine. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. But every company has their little quirks. Probably the biggest annoyance at Landstar is the sitting duck policy. Yeah, I don't know if I agree or disagree with that one.
I don't know. I'm not the type of person that likes to sit on the side of the road, man. I'm gonna find me some parking, whether it's inside the truck stop or I'm gonna make me some parking inside the truck stop. I can't. I that sitting duck policy, I understand it and I get it. So I actually try to make sure that I have enough time to, when I go parking, that I find some reliable place to park. But
so Brian Jess says SRO is the perfect company.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
James G said, I stopped running my own trucking company because I got tired of my own bullshit. Now that's fucking funny. That's funny. That would be me too, man. I'd get tired of my own bullshit.
Oh,
I was thinking of, Army King says, I'm thinking of getting my own authority, but I heard that boss is an asshole. Ain't that the truth? Army Kane, I've thought about it many a times myself. Me and Dee's talked about it. I just, I don't know if it really makes sense, dude, when you really go to one of these 80-20 companies. Roro says, what do you think of driving for a private fleet?
Hey, private fleet make money, man.
Yeah.
They do make some money, but you got to give up some consensus, man.
So, Railroad, do you have a private fleet that you're talking about? Lance says, I guess I have to leave Landstar and go to SRO because I've never heard of a perfect company. It sure is Landstar.
It sure ain't Landstar, I tell you that much.
So Railroad says, would the sitting duck policy apply if you're broke down? No, it doesn't apply.
No, it doesn't. No, because then it's like, okay, they understand, they get it. As long as you got your triangles out, and you're sitting there waiting for your breakdown. Understand. Once you're done broken down, you can get your ass off the side of the road and go find you some parking. If you ran out of hours, that's just what it is.
All right. So does SFI have something in your truck to @H your clock? Because place I'm at uses their own tablets. I'm going to get my international after Xmas. I don't know what your question is. So basically, I know what you're trying to say.
H.
I know what he's saying. So, Jim, just to answer your question, I know he's going to get his truck. You can call me tomorrow, and I'll explain to you how you go about this. I don't want to say it on here or talk about it on here. Give me a ring tomorrow, and I'll give you a heads up on that. It's real easy. Not hard at all. I just don't want to incriminate myself on here. I don't know who watches this. I think we're caught up on the comments. So basically, let me tell you what he's saying. Basically, what he's doing, he's going to get his. I've talked to him several times. He's going to get his international from SFI, and he just wants to know how he needs to get it to the carrier. Don't answer it. You hear what I said? 18.
I didn't hear nothing that you said.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I just spaced out like 2 seconds ago.
That's all right. Just keep spaced out.
We'll talk about it later, I guess.
Let me read these last few comments here real quick, and then we'll get your next one. Fidel Trucking said, the only thing I don't like here at Landstar is broker loads canceling, and if you're running a dedicated account, you lose your trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another thing that I don't like sitting here. I haven't experienced it, but I've heard enough people complain about having to sit up to 3 weeks waiting for an empty trailer after orientation. But I guess that all depends on where you are. I haven't had that problem. I had a trailer the next day, so. But once you have one, don't lose it, and don't give it up, and don't stay off for more than 10 days. I'm not gonna say. I've had my trailer for 3 weeks sitting, so.
Every carrier has a different ELD system that they use, but they are simple to install. Railroad says he was talking about a company like Walmart. I don't know what your question was about that. I was trying to find it back, but it disappeared.
Walmart pays. I heard Walmart pays pretty good.
So Brian Jess says SRO is a good, perfect business model and a perfect company if you're good with an 80-20 split.
I'm pretty sure, Brian,
there's something
at SRO you don't like.
We're going to start calling Bryant, Jason Pote, and Tim Keller here in a minute, man. The way he's going, he's laying it on thick, ain't he?
Brian,
can you do the SRO dance?
Just tell us one thing you don't like being at SRO. Just one thing.
Yeah, tell us one thing you don't like.
It wouldn't necessarily mean that you would quit your job because you don't like it and go work for somewhere else, but there got to be one thing that you don't like about the company that you.
And I got two things for you, Brian. Too. Number one, did I at least get 50% of the Panama Canal thing right? And also, can you do the SRO dance for us? Let me read these comments. The carrier should be able to give you a temp registration and insurance to move where you're going to. Jim Dashbo, but they don't make you use their clock because my company has their own clock. Just call me tomorrow and I'll tell you, buddy. Don't worry about it. All this mega carriers, the same. Come on. When I was at Snyder, I went round and round with them over PC with an empty trailer. Yeah, you're not supposed to go PC with an empty trailer. That's the problem. Only time you can go PC if you don't have a trailer or you don't have a load. James G said Brian got them Gold Line knee pads on SRO. Sorry, Brian, man, but that's funny, man. That's funny. Brian, you keep saying they're good to me. Sounds like you're trying to make yourself believe that.
Oh, man.
Alaska Hall, what does SRO provide for the 20%? He should be charging 10%. Maybe if he provided a trailer, it would justify the 20%. All right. So you got another news article to read?
Yeah. I think
Well,
SRI does provide the trailer, but you're paying a weekly fee for it.
yeah,
so.
you're paying a weekly fee for it.
All
What
right.
he's saying, no, he should only be charging 10%, unless he's given the trailer for the 20. But
All
go
right.
ahead.
Let's see. Last article for the night. 7 million in meth found in a shipment of water drugs. Man, them boys was they was playing hot potato with this one right here. Almost 7 million worth of meth was discovered inside a semi truck hauling jugs of water at the border in Texas earlier this week. Funny thing is, bro, that the picture that I'm looking at, these water jugs are so suspect. Anybody would look at them and be like, yeah, that don't look like water that you hauling, man. Let's see. The contraband was found on December 16th at the Columbia Solidarity Bridge on the border between Texas and Mexico near Laredo, Texas. According to News 4 San Antonio, the semi-truck was referred to secondary inspection, where 16 jugs within the shipment were found to contain 757 methamphetamine. The narcotics have an estimated street value of $6,962,621. No, I read that wrong. $6,962,621. Safeguard Our Borders Port Director Albert Flores of the Laredo Port of Entry said their hard work and keen attention to detail help prevent dangerous contraband from entering our community. The incident is still under investigation. All right, let me know what you guys think about that one there in the comments.
All right. Chris Howard says that and the bitch ass company drivers that would call in and tell us IC guys when they would see us with our headset
With
on.
the headset on,
See, I never had that.
Man, I used to blow past their doors all the damn time. And the funny thing is, you'll look at them and they'll look at you like they trying to find something. Every single time I passed them with that big old orange trailer behind me, they would literally just look at you to see what you got going on too. I'm not, so you ain't too far from the truth on that, Chris.
That's why you get your windows tinted like I do. And they can't see you.
Nicole said, "What is so that?"
Yeah. Marlon says, "Good old Laredo." Oh, that's funny. All that meth in Alabama is called a party weekend in a trailer park. Speaking of which, I got to tell you something funny. I'm not a big fan of the show, but you ever seen that show on? I forget what it's on, but the Trailer Park Boys. I'm sure you've seen that, right?
Nah, I never watched it.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know about it, but I've never watched it. Yeah.
They got phone holders of those characters from the Water Park Boys here at This Loves. Phone holders for your.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah, you've seen the phone holders from the different Marvel characters and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they actually got the Trailer Park Boys here, phone holders.
Did you get one?
I got one for you. I got the guy with the glasses. I got the guy with the glasses for you.
Dude always look. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I used to see the reels on Facebook about the show. It does look like it's pretty funny, but I've never watched it myself.
I don't think it's funny at all. I've watched a couple episodes. It's not great. James G, this sounds like a crazy talk. Something illegal coming across the Mexico-Texas border. Here we go. Brian Jess. SRL is the best deal you can find. I got nothing and want nothing for sending you. Unlike most on YouTube, I don't care about referrals and such. Good luck everywhere else if you overlook SRO. We're just giving you shit, Brian. Don't take it the wrong way. I know you're not, but
you're a buddy, man. We're just messing with you.
It's all good, but you still want to think SRO things.
Hey, if you think SRO the best, more power to you. But you still haven't told me one thing that you don't like about being at SRO. There's got to be at least one thing you don't like about being at SRO. No company is perfect.
Josh Ritter, you only need to deliver one of those loads to successfully to retire.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, $6 million. Come on now.
You have to be brave so to do anything stupid in South Texas. All SRO provides is an MC to run under and pay your 20% for that. LOL.
I'm telling you, those somebody used to tell me that they those loads, for every one of them that they get caught, at least 5 to 7 of them gets passed through. So he must have been the one guy that the cartel snitched on just to get the other loads passed through.
So Railroad says the real question is SRO allowing teams.
I'm pretty sure they do anything over there at SRO. As long
I
as
don't
it
know
falls
that.
under that,
I don't
as long
know
as
that
it
answer.
falls under his MC, I guess you can do whatever.
Buddy, they've only got 7 drivers over there, you know. So Lance says you can start on any episode of Trailer Park Boys. They're all the same. Yeah, I agree with you. That's kind of the problem that I had. 18, there is not one thing I dislike about SRO. So well, let me put it this way again, and again, I know this isn't really SRO. So you like dealing with the spot markets, what you're telling us. You like dealing and negotiating with the rates, and you love it when the loads are behind, or they put you in a door for several hours. So you love all that. And I'm just messing with you, Brian. That has nothing to do with SRO. So we're kind of caught up with the comments. Well, here we go, Chris. Don't do it. Other people are listening. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Wait, don't do what?
Take those border runs.
Hmm.
Fidel says, Brian Child, please. Oh, man.
Listen, at the end of the day, if Brian's happy where he is,
that's right.
More power to him. As long as he's making the money that he wants to make and he has no problem with it, cool. I just firmly believe that, hey, there is no company out here that's perfect. It's always something that would tick you off, but not necessarily make you leave them. You know,
I got to tell you, if I could deal with the spot market and doing live loads and live unloads and all that, I would look at SRO. But I deal with that here. I don't really.
You don't like it.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. It's fine.
Lance says Brian will get tired of the spot market. Laska said Trailer Park Boys is the best show you will find. I get nothing for recommended it. Not like other YouTubers. Jesus, man. Now he's hitting it hard.
Oh, man, you guys are killing me.
The salesman. Nothing is perfect. Nothing. That's exactly right, Nicole.
Damn. So your husband isn't perfect, Nicole? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not perfect by any means. She knows that. If SRO allows Team Jason, might have some competition. Brian says, I get my freedom, man.
Hey, Brian, just so, again, we just reiterating this, man. We're just joking here with you, buddy, man. We're not over here trying to down you or anything like that, you know. Oh, man. A diva. Who's a diva?
Talking about me. She says, no, he isn't, but diva, yes. Never claimed that I was perfect.
Damn. $7 million in methamphetamine is crazy. Trucking transparency. That actually got me confused a little bit as to trying to figure out why shippers wouldn't want any transparency. But then again, when it got broken down, the way Trucking Made Successful broke it down. If you guys don't know who that is, just look that up on YouTube. Miranda, she's pretty decent with her reporting on the trucking market. I know she does flatbedding for the company that she has, and she's a little bit more accurate than Freightways when it comes to the expectation of what the market is actually doing. So it's a pretty decent channel to watch especially if you're in the spot market. But just in general for trucking, she has a really good show. You guys should check it out.
So Chris wants to know who the fuck is running water loads across the border. Here's a good comment. If your truck was paid off, think of how your net revenue would be different. Absolutely, man.
Mm-hmm.
So Lance has a good comment here. Like and subscribe. Go to my channel. Go to the 18's channel. Go to all of our channels and like and subscribe to everybody's. We all rely on it.
I appreciate it, guys.
Alaska Hall says, "Hey Brian, here is a little tip for you. If you like SRO so much, then stop recommending it to everyone. The more people that will come, the less quality you will get from Scott." You know, yeah. Well, the problem is Scott really doesn't have anything to do with the loads that they get and everything.
No, I think I get where he coming from, but from what what's your friend name again? I keep forgetting.
Brian?
The other one that's over there at SRO.
Todd?
Yeah. From what Todd have explained of how Scott operates, he don't let any and everybody into his company. Like, he really does take his time to get to know the person that you are and how you operate, and depending on what he sees, you're not it might be a no for him, because again, he's a small carrier, and I'm pretty sure he wants to protect the reputation that he's building for himself. So not any and everybody can get over there. So I doubt the Hirschbach boys could ever get over to SRO Logistics. I'm just gonna put that out.
Oh, they would never make it. So Jim Jaspo says it's no different than when I was at the Coast Guard. For everyone you catch, 3 get by.
3 get by. Uh-huh.
New Year, gents and ladies, unknown frontier to make it or break it. Yep. I think a lot of people are going to make it. 7 mil got caught, but 170 mil got away.
Yep.
Cartel Springs, artesian pure water. So Army Kane says he's already liked all the 3 18 Wheels' videos. All 3 of his videos.
Yeah, more than 3.
He loves giving you shit.
There's at least 50 something on there. I'm just saying.
You got 50 videos on your YouTube?
There's got to be at least 50 something videos on there. Let me check. Yeah, 54. I got 54 videos on there.
Oh, you've got almost as many as I do. Let's see. MG says, how do you stay in shape while trucking?
Take walks. Buy some resistance bands. Resistance bands are much lighter than actual weights, but they'll give you the same benefit. Get you a set of resistance bands and try to work them out. I'm not gonna lie, I have a set of those, and I only broke them out for the first time. I bought them like a year or 2 ago, and the first time I ever used them was like a couple other days ago. And I was just sitting here looking at myself eating some McDonald's. I was like, yeah, it's time for me to do something about this, because ain't no way. I don't want to develop heart disease or something.
So I got some good comments here. Techno says, Scott spent an hour on the phone explaining his company and business strategies. No lies, no bullshit. Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
I tell you what, Scott sounds like my type of guy, man.
Yeah. Army King, round is a shape. So here's the comment I really want to get to. Alaska Hall says, I would hire Jason and Tim, best recruiters on YouTube. Look how much traction they are getting. Even bad publicity is good publicity. Good publicity, excuse me. I agree with you. But sometimes the truth hurts. And me, when me and you were going back and forth at the beginning, Alaska, you were kind of giving me shit about recruiting and stuff. I took it the wrong way, and you've actually been a good supporter of the channel, and you make good comments, and you know what? I agree with you. Whether you're good or bad, any kind of news is news. Anybody that gets seen gets seen. They are getting a lot of traction. They're getting a lot of views. They're getting a lot of people that are subscribing.
They deleted all their videos off of their channel.
You know why, right?
They claimed they were going over to TikTok, but when you go over to TikTok and watch their video, now let me tell y'all something. TikTok is ruthless, man. They thought they were getting away from all the drama on YouTube, but if you go look at their comments, they get dragged through the mud on TikTok as well too.
You know why he took the videos down, right?
Why?
Because Narc put out that video about Tim and his child support and his family and all that shit. They're hiding him is what they're doing. And Jason put a comment out saying he don't want to be a part of that. You know, so the two of them might have, you know, that might be the end of them two teaming. I guess we'll have to wait till the beginning of the year to see. But
I heard there was some packet that he deleted all those videos because they meant nothing. Because Hirschbach's coming out with some new pay package.
well, that's the other thought too. Is that also they might not be there after the beginning of the year because of their new pay package even. So Railroad says you probably don't have to pay them. You just give them a broke down truck so they can cuddle. My Lord.
Listen, at the end of the day, man, like I said, recruiting isn't. I don't see recruiting as a bad thing, as long as you being a straight shooter. But when you throw a lot of snake oil into the mix, then you pretty much dilute the whole process. You get what I'm saying? And just the way that they go about recruiting it just seems off. It just seems off. And I one of the videos that they deleted, he was saying, you know, if you recruit, put my name down and I'll help you. If you don't put my name down, I won't help you. He said that in a quick snippet, right? And I think Narc took a recording of that and posted it on his channel. And you know that's kind of messed up because maybe somebody already applied after they heard about you, but they still want to ask for some help. You wouldn't even help your own fellow driver out because he didn't want because he didn't put you down as a referral. It's crazy to me. You know, I thought we were out here supposed to help one another.
Here, I got some good comments. They're also getting a lot of heat. If the lead says it's true, they're getting money from Hirschbach for every video. Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, well, what's his name made a video saying that he called Hirschbach and they were and asked him about pretending to be a Hirschbach driver and asked the marketing department how they're getting paid and literally just laid out how that actually works. Jason was also on the video. He was making a statement that saying, well, if you're not making the money that I'm making, you're doing it wrong. So basically, what you're saying is that everybody need to get the Hirschbach and start spewing some snake oil, and everybody will make the same amount of money.
Let me get to Alaska's comment here. What not to watch? Lance Calhoun. When I was running for Bruce Oakley out of North Little Rock, their recruiting bonus was $5,000. So here's the comment that I want to kind of talk about. Alaska Hall. They are coming back. They made a post saying they replied to their 11th email and will be coming back to YouTube. I highly doubt they get even one email about them coming back.
The 11th email.
So, Lance, back to your comment, Bruce Oakley Trucking. That was one of the companies that I was kind of looking at. Brian, as a matter of fact, was one that was talking about them. Are you still at Bruce Oakley, or are you gone from there?
No, he's at Landstar. Based off what he was talking about in his comments, I believe he's at Landstar as well, too.
So Brian said Bruce Oakley Trucking is big money if you live in that market.
Oh, yeah.
F2F is okay, but you won't make it with an SF5 truck and the trailer payment, too many hours on the dock. Yep, I agree. That's even me with what I'm doing at the dedicated stuff, I agree with you. It's very, very hard. Very hard. So Lance is at Landstar, huh?
I believe based off of the information that he was putting in the comments and his knowledge about what Landstar's got going on, I believe that he is over here as well too. Yeah.
Well, we've had some good comments tonight. 27 people still on. You got any other things you want to talk about, or any news or anything?
It's cold outside, man.
Yeah, no, it's cold here actually too. I got the heat on.
It is. I mean, shoot. I'm just ready to get back south. I'm just ready to get out of here, man. Been at Landstar for 4 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was my guess. Well, obviously you like it because you've been here this long, but you know, give us a little bit more detail on how you like how do you like it.
Right now, it's hard anywhere you go, even with your own MC. It's hard. I've been doing Amazons, and that's been pretty, but starting to slow down. Okay. Lance says, I'm sorry. Josh says, Lance, how long did you work at Bruce Oakley? Pretty good, says Alaska. Army King says, if I could find a solid reefer company, I'd leave F2F tomorrow.
You're one of those nighttime drivers, huh?
I don't know of any I don't know of any solid reefer company. My wife
It
says
depends
your
on
next
where do you live, Army Kane? Like, what part
wife
of the
says
country do you live? Go ahead.
next shit show will be a year away. I don't know about a year away, but it'll be next year.
Yeah, it'll be next year.
I'm amazed there's no so much drama between drivers, and it's funny to watch. There's like 10 railroaders on YouTube, and there's not as much drama. Yeah,
Hey,
you
that
know,
drama is entertainment, man.
truck drivers are a bunch of dicks, and they're a bunch of divas too. That's exactly
Hey,
right.
if you guys ever have a chance chasing Andrew Jackson and chasing Mr. Hamilton, they've been going back and
Uh,
forth with each other
so
as well too.
here we go. Brian Jess says, "I like some more people to beat me up about how much he likes it SRO." He texted me too. It says, "Come on, bring it, guys." So he's willing to take it. So go ahead and give it to him. So Lance says, "I wasn't at Bruce Oakley very long. All too nasty of a gig for him. Only way you make it at F2F is with no payment on a truck." Wow. Okay. Northeast, but I run everywhere and stay out 2 months. Looking to move to the Texas, Oklahoma area.
There should be plenty of reefer companies up in the Northeast. I mean, Texas and Oklahoma is a pretty good spot for reefers as well too, because you got beef.
You know, and Army Kane, this might be something for you to look into. And I got a buddy of mine that I've known him for about 10 years. We went through the lease game many years ago. He actually succeeded and paid a truck off. I turned mine in pretty quickly because the company was going way down. This is going back to the old Celadon days. But anyway,
Ooh,
he works for Fry Miller, and he's actually leasing a truck from Fry Miller, however you say it. It looks like Fry Miller, but anyway, he's with them. I talked to him the other day. He's killing it there. He loves it. Basically, he runs back from the east to the west, back and forth, and the way he was talking, he had like 85% drop and hook, which is kind of crazy for a reefer company. But you might want to check them out. Again, I don't know for sure, but that's just what he was telling me.
hey, does anybody remember Celadon? Because Pepperidge Farm remembers Celadon.
What's Pepper Ridge Farm mean? What's that?
Yeah, never mind. Don't worry about it. You're too old for that joke. What's the next comment?
Well, tell me, clue me in. What's that all about?
It's a Family Guy reference.
Oh, okay. Should have hung out in the driver's break room back in the day and listened to the drama. Yeah. Army Kane says Brian gets a percentage increase every time he says SRO. Army Kane, take a look at the Greater Omaha Express in Omaha, Nebraska. They are a direct supply for Greater Omaha packing. I'm sorry. Huh. Interesting. What part of the country do you guys live in? Alaska, I'm in Florida, and 18's in Florida.
Yeah, we're in the shit market state. Get going in, crap coming out.
Fidel says, I was running a Walmart account, but I had to get off of it. So tell us about the Walmart account. Lance says, if I had to do all spot market, I would retire. LOL. Yep.
I like the healthy mix that we have over here. For dry van, there's a lot of stuff that we can do without even branching out to a different platform. We do have spot market freight, and we do have customer freight, and then we also have show loads. And show loads can be pretty lucrative. Direct customers can be pretty consistent. And every once in a while, when the spot market load gets on the board, it might pay pretty good. When you switch over, like I said, you switch over to a different platform like flatbed, you're in a whole different ball game. Landstar does heavy haul. I don't know if you ever seen any of those videos with the heavy hauls. They haul some serious stuff. I'm talking about those big, gigantic wind turbines and all that stuff. They do all that stuff here as well too. So you don't necessarily have to go out there and find a different company or run spot market. If you want to run anything that you want to run, you can just do it over here as well too. Landstar has a lot of military freight for the flatbed drivers. That'll keep guys pretty consistent as well over here as well too. Basically, what I'm just saying is you make it how you make it over here. There's nobody holding your hands.
Brian says Brian gets capped at 82%. No matter how many times he says SRO. Alaska says, "Do you
Wait,
guys
but
own property?"
I thought it was 80-20. Where'd that 2%
Well,
come from, Brian?
he gets an extra percent every year that he's there, and it's capped at 82 is what he's talking about. He's
Oh,
getting ready to get up. So Alaska says, "Do you own any property in Florida?" I heard Florida property taxes insurance is crazy high. Yes, I do own 2 pieces of property in Florida. The taxes are going up. Insurance, there's only like, from what I heard, there's only like 3 or 4 insurance companies that will even touch.
Yeah, everybody left because of the hurricane and all the scammers from out of state. But I don't own crap. I don't own crap yet, and I hope soon enough that I'll be able to own something. A nice piece of land would be nice.
And our taxes and insurance is actually paid through our mortgage. I don't know if other states are the same way too, but that's the way ours is paid. Now with the piece of property that we had, we pay our taxes on that, and quite frankly, our taxes aren't too bad on the property that we have. But there's no house or nothing on it. By the way, it's for sale if anybody's interested. Trying to sell a nice
sold that
property
thing already.
Nope. It's almost a half acre, like 0.43, which is actually a good sized piece of property for.
Well, maybe I might just go check it out and see how big it is. Maybe we might come up with a deal. I don't know.
Just remember what I told you, buddy. It's a property you're going to have to hold on to until you run in some money, because it is on wetlands, and you're going to have to put some money into it to buy the credits.
Oh, right. You did tell me that.
Now, I just putting that out there, man. I don't want anybody to get caught in the situation that we're in. That's why we have attorneys. Can't go into a whole lot of details about it, but that's what we're going through. So Vidal says there's not enough money and Walmart loads are heavy. You know, that's funny that you said that. I did Walmart quite a while ago, and my Walmart loads were never over 20,000 pounds. I used to love running Walmart. Brian Jess says the difference is that Brian had enough confidence in himself to sign on with SRO. Speaking of Walmart and heavy loads,
speaking in third person.
I don't know. Speaking of which, Brian, you ran the Walmart with Swift. You can talk all about Walmart shit. Lance says rate can only go up to $9.99. Some loads require more one use. Railroad says, what are your favorite states to drive through?
Midwest and the Southeast.
He said states, like 1 or 2, not all of them. You're talking about all of them.
Midwest and the South and the Southeast.
I love honestly, I like driving through. I know Florida's a little heavy on traffic, but when there's no traffic, I enjoy driving through Florida. I like driving through some of the back roads. South Carolina, North Carolina. I'm not big on the hills in North Carolina, but I like the East Coast of North Carolina.
West Virginia sucks.
Alabama and Mississippi ain't bad. Yeah.
The country will cut my head off for saying West Virginia sucks, man. Nobody wants to be driving up and down those mountains with 40K and you
I believe in me. Brian says he believes in him first and foremost.
Absolutely, man. That's how it's supposed to go.
Alaska wants to know where my Florida is. So my land is in a town called Palm Bay. Palm Bay is just south of Melbourne, if you're familiar with Melbourne. If you're not familiar with Melbourne, just think where the rockets go up. Cape Canaveral. I'm about an hour south of Cape Canaveral.
Yeah, he's close to the ocean and the beaches.
Yep. So my property, as a crow flies, is about 1.5 miles from the Atlantic Ocean. My wife says wetlands and uplands. That is.
I don't know what an uplands is. What's that?
It's too hard to explain. I'd have to have another 2 hours to explain it to you on here, buddy. James G, if I sign on with SRO, does James have to refer to himself only in third person, asking for a friend? That's funny. Walmart depends on DC you're hauling out of. Reefer is heavy. Yes, I agree. I did reefer for Target.
Help make the show tonight, man. I'll tell you what, you definitely helped make the show tonight, man.
I did reefer for Target. I enjoyed the hell out of that. That was easy. Walmart reefer.
Yes. Sucks. The reefers
Target
was pretty
Lake City.
Big, super light loads, and it was, man. And for owner operators, that pay did not change, and I
loved it, man.
The only thing I ain't like is the overnight driving and waiting a day and a half because I'm a solo.
Alaska Hall, that's nice. Would love to live in Florida if it wasn't for the bad market. Sounds like a nice piece of land. Actually, it's a great piece of land. It is waterfront property, but it's on a creek. The creek runs into the river, and the river runs into the ocean. If that makes any sense to you, you could
And the
easily
ocean runs into the other ocean, and the
you could
other ocean
easily
runs into the other ocean.
yeah, you could easily have some canoes and go down the creek and stuff. But it is a nice piece of property for the right person that wants to put just a little bit of money into it and put a nice house on it. That's kind of what our plans were when we bought it until we found out all the details about it.
It's a good spot for fishing.
It is a good spot for fishing. Absolutely. Wife says it's not a creek. It's on the river. Okay. Turkey Creek. I mean, it's on Turkey Creek. Not the Indian River, but yeah, I know what you're saying, darling. She's trying to correct me.
Skip the comment.
Which one does? I used to live in Florida, then Ocala, now Atlanta. Okay.
Florida City. I'm pretty sure they are.
That's a good question. My property, you can't get down all the way to the creek because of the overgrowth right now. But anybody, and this is the thing, when I first moved to Florida, and I don't remember who told me this, but when I first moved to Florida, I was always told, and again, I had never lived in Florida, really hadn't been to Florida a whole bunch. They always told me it doesn't matter how deep the water is. If you see a puddle of water, always expect an alligator. Yeah, always have the expectation there's going to be an alligator. Lance says, okay, so that's that. Brian says, James, Turkey Creek is a fine place to live. Yes, sir, it is. Yes, Lance, says my wife.
There's alligators everywhere, man.
Y'all seen the Louisiana lady that shows you if the water is wet there?
I did see that video. It was pretty freaking funny. I'm not gonna lie. If there's a body of water, there's a gator in there, and maybe some snakes and iguanas and monkeys. There's definitely monkeys over on that side over there.
I've never seen any monkeys. I don't think there's any monkeys where we're at.
There's a lot of they had monkeys over there, and they had parrots over there as well too.
All right, so if anybody is ever coming to Florida and you want to see some cool shit, and if you're ever going south, and I don't know if you've ever done it before or not, go down into the Everglades. Like, for instance, in between Naples and Miami, where the Value Jet plane went down back in the 90s, they've actually got a memorial there. If you ever get a chance, instead of going down the Alligator Parkway, which is 75, where 75 meets 95, take US 41 down from Naples all the way to Miami. Take the old route down and go through Everglades City. You'll see the swamp ape. You'll also go to a bunch of little sanctuaries where you can actually stop and see the crocodiles, and you can see and also there's the wildlife down there, Everglades National Park. If you ever get a chance, go through it.
There's a guy on TikTok that goes through the Everglades at night and just starts grabbing random wild animals, just walking through. There's like he pulls up on a cluster of gators just sitting there, and he'll just shoo them away. They all just swim off and stuff like that. But yeah, if you want to see some crazy stuff, but you don't want to go to South America, go to the Everglades. You'll see all the crazy stuff that you want to see down there. There's everything from capybaras to Burmese pythons to anacondas.
So Brian says, I know that Turkey Creek area. I could get my boat under rail on the creek on low tide. So Fidel says, have you guys ever been to Rosewood? I'm not familiar with Rosewood.
I'm not familiar with it as well either.
So Alaska says, did you hear about the ghost stories from that crash? The plane was so new, they ended up using parts from it from other aircraft. They ended up using parts from it on other aircraft. No, I haven't heard that before.
That's wild if they reuse parts from that plane, because obviously it crashed for a damn reason.
So Value Jet went out of business, and if my memory serves me correct, Value Jet, just like every business, when they go bankrupt, obviously that bankrupted them. I don't know how many jets. I don't know anything about the company, but they changed their name and they're still in business, and they are now called JetBlue. I don't know if a lot of people know that or not, but the JetBlue is the old ValueJet Airlines. Not saying that. And again, from what I read and what I heard, ValueJet was actually a good company. It's just it had some faulty stuff go wrong with that jet. And again,
I wish
with any
Pan Am
equipment-
was still around.
Yeah.
I would love to receive some of that Pan Am service that everybody used to talk about in the heyday, man.
I have seniority, so I picked up my run. But the Midwest is really nice scenery. If you ever get the chance, take an Amtrak. They offer scenic trips. Love to take an Amtrak someday. That's one of my.
I tried taking one time because remember when I turned in my SFI truck, I had booked a ticket back home on the rail, and then the hurricane came and they just canceled the whole thing, and I was pretty bummed out about it because I really wanted to take the rail to see something different.
So my wife says dinosaur-sized mosquitoes too.
Mm-hmm.
Lasky says people saw ghosts on the planes that had the parts from the one that crashed. Ghost on the planes that had the parts from the one that crashed. Interesting.
That's crazy.
So ValueJet pulled a super ego. Basically, yes. Fidel said it's an old town where they killed a lot of blacks because a lady lied, said that she was raped by a black man. They made a movie about that. What is that movie? That sounds very familiar. I wish I could think of the name of that movie. But no, I've never been to Rosewood.
Tell us, because then I'm going to look it up because I probably want to watch it.
3 Rigged said, join late. Good evening, everyone. Good to have you, Rigged.
How you doing, 3 Rigs?
Techno says they've been talking about opening other routes for Amtrak for tourists.
You ever heard anything about?
Wife says Rosewood.
Huh. Has anybody ever heard of any high-speed rails? You know, you train guys out there. You got any secrets on when these high-speed rails are coming?
Buddy, there's a high-speed train going from Orlando to Miami right
now. I would call that a high-speed rail for nothing.
140 miles an hour?
It doesn't go that fast.
The fuck it don't. I pass it all the time on the turnpike.
But it doesn't.
It goes in real life. Melbourne at 80 miles an hour. It's already hit so many.
Yeah, that's it. Like the most it'll do is 80, but then it's still using old tracks, so they can't really go. They can't really go fast through the towns and whatnot. So it's just like they just built that crap for nothing. Just wasted money. I don't even think a lot of people really use it. And it still takes the same amount of time for you to drive from in a car to go to Miami from Orlando than it does with in the train. It's the same amount of time, so you really ain't losing much. They ain't going as fast as it should go.
Rosewood is a 1997 movie that has John Voight, Ving Rhames, Don Cheadle, and Bruce McGill in it. Might have to check that out.
What's the name of the movie?
Rosewood.
Rosewood?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Is it on Netflix?
I don't know where it's at. I just looked it up on IMDb. Yeah, so Fidel confirms it for Rosewood. Rosewood is the name of the movie. The reason why they crashed was because the light bulb on the landing gear didn't light up. They all got so focused on the light, they didn't realize they were slowly descending into the ground.
Descending into the ground.
Descending the ground. Yeah, that's what he meant to say. But yeah, 80 miles per hour. Okay, that's what they go through Melbourne at. Is 80. I know.
Yeah, but they don't go no faster than that.
I'll put a speed gun up to it next time I go down the turnpike, and I'll tell you. James G. Damn, you pass a 140 mile per hour train. How fast you drive through there in Florida? Well, it's not me driving 140 miles per hour. It's the train that's going 140 miles per hour.
It's supposed to go up to 140, but it's still using existing old tracks. That's why it doesn't go that fast. And it's going through towns. So, they can't speed going through towns either.
What the thing is, though, when they're on the turnpike, when they're next to the turnpike, they're not going through any town. So that stretch from Orlando to say, Cocoa, they can go 140 miles an hour through there. And if you look at those tracks, those tracks are brand spanking new. They put them in. I watched them put them in.
Yeah. I mean, I get that part, but then once you get
into town, they go way down.
Yeah, they're using regular.
I agree with you on that.
But actually, I did. I'm not gonna lie. I did past that train one time in my personal car doing at least I was doing about 100. So I know that train wasn't doing 140.
See, even Brian says 18. The train goes 140 down through there on the turnpike. He
It
said he lives in
can,
Melbourne
but
where it comes through. It goes about 70, 80 miles an hour through town.
yeah,
Because I've seen it. The damn railroad gates come down about a minute before the train even fucking comes through. And you're like, where the fuck's the train? You're sitting there waiting, and 40 seconds later, you hear the horn, rah, rah, and it's gone by the time you look up, dude. It goes 80 miles an hour through Melbourne. I can promise
I'd like
you
to. I'm actually gonna plan on taking a ride on it one of these days. I'll just wait till they drop the price a little bit more because it's fucking ridiculous.
that. So he says the tracks that are in use today would never support high-speed trains.
That's what I was. The only part of the track that it can go up to 140 miles. It only does 80 on it, and that's the new track that they laid down from the Orlando airport
Well,
to
let's just put it this way: it's nowhere compared to the Japanese Shogun train where it goes over 250 miles.
Damn Skippy.
And it's on one rail. My wife says the Disney Springs monorail goes faster.
See, even Nicole agrees with me. It doesn't even
the
go.
tracks are newer and supported for high speed. And he says he voted for that shit. I don't know why in the fuck you would vote for that shit. You live in Melbourne. Why the fuck would you vote for that shit?
Because he wanted to take the train like everybody else.
Yeah, how
but
often unfortunately,
the only train, like I said, Brian, the only part that's new is the track from Orlando to where does it end? What town does it end?
It goes all the way to Miami. Somewhere in Miami. I don't know which town.
But the new track. But I'm talking about the new track that they built for it. It's only a short track because everything else
just from Orlando
everything
to Coco.
Yeah, everything from Coco go down. It's regular old school train track. So it doesn't go fast. After that point, it don't go no fast. So you can still get to Miami before that train gets there by just sticking on the turnpike and just doing 100 like everybody else does.
So Roro says, glad to see everybody likes trains. Yeah, I love trains. I always have.
Yeah, I wish that America would actually put in the proper infrastructure for high-speed rail. That would be freaking nice. That way all the people who are scared to fly can go to California and back.
Wife says too many dumb fucks are jumping in front of the bright line. That's true.
Yeah, that too.
It goes to the Amtrak station to Miami. Wow, we still got 23 people on here.
It's the slowest, fastest train. It's the slowest, fastest train that they ever built.
What's the fastest train in Florida? How about that?
I guess still ain't faster than the Floridian that's driving.
So Brian says I voted for it because it makes tourists pay extra for enjoying my hometown. Okay,
makes sense. Long as somebody else is paying for it, right?
Yeah. So what's your you're in Ohio. Where are you heading to?
Back to Florida.
So you're going to Ohio to Florida, huh?
Uh-huh.
When do you plan on being
Florida
there?
to Pennsylvania, and then deadhead from Pennsylvania over to Ohio.
When do you plan on being home?
That's a good question. I only got like 9 hours left on my clock, and I still got 15 hours to get there. So
when do you collect more hours? Tomorrow?
Tuesday.
Oh God, you got to wait all the way till Tuesday?
I got 9 hours to drive tomorrow, so that's something, you know. But I think I'm only getting like 6 hours back, so I don't know. Maybe Christmas morning, I'll get back into Florida probably.
I'll be home Tuesday.
I was planning on. I was hoping I was gonna get back at least late in the evening, Christmas Eve, because I wanted to take my daughter to downtown so she could watch so she could see the Christmas lights. But I guess.
So my wife says there is no stop in Melbourne. Brian wants to know, what does it pay from Ohio to Florida? Pay at Landstar.
It was It was almost $3 a mile. It was a double load that I took. Altogether, it was paying $5,000 to go up to Pennsylvania, then head over to Ohio, and come right back down to Florida for the weekend.
All right. So Railroad says, I couldn't work on a passenger train. I'll stick to freight.
I hear you. I hear you, man. Some of us don't like people. That's why we became truck drivers.
That's right. I got tired of dealing with people.
Hey, where you at, man? Well, are you on your way home? Are you
Me?
stuck doing a 34?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm not stuck doing a 34. My pickup is tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And it just happens that my drop off was yesterday. So it just kind of worked into a 34. And I'm okay with that because both loads I had, the pay was pretty decent. And there was really nothing coming out. I couldn't get a load last night. You know how it is trying to get a load on a Sunday. There's no loads going out Sunday. Right. So honestly, it just, and my wife didn't understand this, but I tried to explain it to her. It just kind of worked into a 34 because my load last night or yesterday delivered to a food line. And you know how food places are. They usually take 6 to 8, maybe even 10 hours. Dude, I was out of there in an hour, dude. I literally showed up at 5:30. They put me in a door immediately. And by 7:30, I was gone, dude. Lumper paid, everything gone in less than, an hour and a half, 2 hours, dude. I couldn't fucking believe it, to be honest with you. I had never, again, I waited for that load on Friday. I had 4.5 hours of detention, but, again, it kind of helped me with my 10-hour break that I had to do. So it really didn't matter either way. But no, that was the quickest unload. I didn't expect it. I didn't think I'd be able to get a 34 in, but when I got parked, I just said, you know what? I'm going to do a 34, and that way I know that I'll have enough hours to get home because I've been running off recaps for the last week and a half. So it just kind of worked out that way. So 18, just wait till Tuesday. That way you'll be home late Christmas Eve.
Well, if I do a 34-hour now and wait till Tuesday, I'm not going to get home till Christmas. I'm not going to get back till Christmas Day. Because I got, what I got? 982, almost 1,000 miles. Still got to go. So 700 one day, and I'll just run off the recaps. I get 6 hours back on. I'll drive my 9 hours tomorrow. Get 6 hours back. Run that, and I'll be. Either way, I'll probably end up being back Christmas morning.
So Brian says, so that's 5,000 from Florida to Ohio. Is that right?
Yeah,
Ohio
much,
and back.
Yeah.
Wow. So 3 Rigs said, that's rare for food deliveries. Be thankful. Oh, I am very thankful for that. I felt like playing the lottery this morning, to be honest with you. And again, like I said, I tried to explain it to my wife that we had planned for the extra time, and there just really isn't any loads going out on Sunday that were worth anything. And, I had planned on just I had plenty of time on my recaps to get all the way home, with each day. But if I get a 34 out of it, then great. And that's what I planned on. I got a 34 out of it. It worked out really good. And this way, when I go home, I don't really have to take a 34-hour reset, but I'm going to stay home for a couple of days, I think. Just take an L for the Christmas holiday. That's what I'm probably going to end up doing.
And I don't want to be in the truck for my birthday anyways. So
Fidel said, oh, bad. Christmas is Wednesday. I originally was just going to stay out Christmas and just work through it, but there's absolutely nothing on the board that makes any sense. And my wife would probably kill me if I didn't come home for Christmas.
Hey, by any consensus, man, I do end up not getting home in a timely fashion. I guess I'm gonna go to the TA and the Petro and get my free meal that Landstar gives us.
She wants to know when your birthday is. Your birthday's on Christmas Day.
The day after Christmas.
Oh, is it the day after Christmas?
Yeah. I'll be old as shit, man. I feel my knees are starting to creak. 32 is just creeping up on me pretty fast, man.
Keep your mouth shut. I'm 22 years older than you. I'm sure half these guys in here are older than you.
I'm pretty sure they are, man. I'm pretty sure they are.
Wow, Dallas is actually beating the Buccaneers, which really surprised me. Not by much, but Three Rigs says, happy early birthday, 18.
Appreciate it, Three Rigs, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys, a reminder again, go and subscribe to both of our channels, Life on 18 Wheels and my channel that you're watching here. Whichever way you're watching it, we're broadcasting to both. And give the video a thumbs up on both sides, please. This helps us out. Wife says, happy birthday. Hope you get home for Christmas and your birthday. He will.
I will. I'll be home come hell or high water.
Last Call says, happy early birthday. You're 2 years ahead of me. I already feel old. So, Alaska Hall, you're only 30, huh? I was thinking you were older than that for some reason. From the way you talk.
We're all feeling old already, man.
Yeah.
Knees are creaking in. That jumping in and out of those dry vans is not the play, man. I need to stop doing that for real.
All right, fellas, it's been real. Enjoyed the live. I'll see you in the next live, and I'm gone. Yo, good to have you, Fidel.
Man, it was nice
I'm
having
gonna
you
check
here,
your
brother.
channel out. As soon as I get done here, I'm going to watch some of your videos and check you out, man. Wow. I got to tell you, man, I think nothing against any of the other guys we've had on the channel. I think me and you doing the show works out a lot better. There's a lot less of talking over everybody. Brian says, go home for Christmas. I am. I'm heading home.
Yeah.
My wife says, I better. Irishman says, 32 years old. Ain't that cute? Let me know when you're 53 and how you feel. Happy birthday to you. Well, I'm 54. Alaska says, good night, boys. He's out. Yeah, guys, I think it's we're 2 hours and 12 minutes. I think we're about ready to head out. Anybody got any last additional comments or questions or concerns or any recruitment questions, anything, put them up and we'll get on out of here.
I tell you what, if you guys have any question about the companies that we're working at, you can reach out to James. He usually posts the phone number right up there for you guys to check out. If you have any questions specifically about Landstar and want to know a little bit more information about it, you can hit me up on Facebook at Life on 18 Wheels, and we can go from there. Like I said, I'm not really interested in recruiting at all. I just want to spread the information, and just to give you guys the to make a better choice for yourselves. However you want to go through with your career in trucking. I appreciate you guys coming out and being with us tonight, and we'll see you guys next week.
Hey, a couple more comments before you take off. There's my phone number for you guys. Wife says good night, stay safe. And Railroad says, let me in on the next live. I'll recruit for the Railroad. So Railroad, my number was just posted. Give me a text with your info. I'll be more than happy to pull you on. I know you're joking and laughing, but I'll be more than happy to bring you on, man. It'd be kind of cool to have you. Three Rigs, just be safe out there, fellas. Happy holidays and for you and your family. Same to you. You should get Trucker Todd on here next time. Want to see how he's been doing. Catch my video two weeks ago. I had Trucker Todd on them. I tried to get him on tonight, but he said he was busy watching the Cowboys play my Buccaneers. It's all good. I'll have Todd on anytime he wants to come on. Enjoyed it, fellas and ladies. Good night. Irishman. All right, James and 18, you guys have a great night. Merry Christmas. Same to you, Irishman.
Merry Christmas to you guys too, man, and have a happy new year.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all later.
All right, bye.
Good night.